There was a time in my life when I thought abundance was something I had to beg for. I whispered wishes, wrote affirmations, and prayed for opportunities, hoping they would land in my lap. But the truth is, asking keeps you in the position of lack. It assumes you don't already have what you desire. Everything shifted when I stopped asking for money and started ordering it. Just like you order a meal at a restaurant with confidence, I learned to order money from life itself, without fear, doubt, or hesitation. Today, I want to share with you 5 key lessons from this shift. Lessons that transformed not only how money flowed to me, but also how I viewed myself and the power I hold. There is a quiet but powerful difference between asking and ordering, and it begins deep within the state of your mind. When you ask, you stand in a posture of lack. You position yourself as someone who does not yet have, someone waiting for approval, someone hoping that perhaps what they desire might arrive if conditions are kind enough. Asking keeps your energy tethered to uncertainty. It carries the vibration of not yet, of maybe, of someday, and the truth is, life mirrors the energy you project. When you speak with the voice of scarcity, you attract experiences that confirm scarcity. Ordering, on the other hand, is born of authority. It is not arrogance but certainty. It is the voice that speaks from the knowledge that life is abundant, that opportunities are endless, and that money, love, health, and success are not reserved for a select few. They are available to anyone who stands boldly and claims them. To order is to recognize your rightful place as a co-creator in the unfolding of your experience. Think for a moment about the difference between a beggar and a customer. The beggar extends a hand, eyes searching, unsure if anyone will be generous today. Every coin is uncertain, every morsel a question mark. Contrast that with the customer at a restaurant. She studies the menu, decides what she wants, and places her order with confidence. She does not doubt that her meal is being prepared. She does not hover in fear, wondering if the waiter will ignore her. She knows that once she has ordered, the kitchen sets into motion, and in due time, the meal will arrive. That is the power of ordering. It is not desperate, it is deliberate. The reason many people remain trapped in financial struggle is because they approach money as a beggar. They whisper, "I hope I can make it through this month. I wish someone would help me. Maybe I'll get lucky." This language cements them in scarcity. It tells life that they are not ready, not willing, not certain. And so, life echoes back with delay, with fragments, with just enough to scrape by. Now imagine shifting to the authority of ordering. You declare, "I will receive 3,000 this month through aligned opportunities." You hold that statement with calm conviction, just as you would expect a package once you've placed an order online. Do you doubt the delivery truck will arrive? No, you track it, you anticipate it, and you prepare for its arrival. That is how ordering works. It shifts your energy from powerless wishing to powerful expectation. Ordering does not mean demanding life without effort. It means aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with certainty. The moment you order money, your mind begins to scan for ways to fulfill that command. You notice opportunities you would have ignored in the fog of scarcity. You speak differently to people, carrying the confidence of someone who knows their worth, and others respond to that energy because confidence attracts trust, and trust unlocks doors. Consider the story of a woman who had struggled with her freelance business. For months she asked timidly, "I hope I can find clients this week." Her results were unpredictable, a small project here, a delayed payment there. Then she changed her language. She began to declare, "I am signing 3 new clients by the 15th. She wrote it down. She visualized those clients. She spoke it as if it were already happening. Soon, she noticed a networking event she might have skipped before. She attended, spoke with clarity about her services, and within days she had signed 4 clients. What changed? Not her skill. Not the economy, it was the shift from asking to ordering. ChatGPT said, "There is a force in life that responds not to vague desires but to precision." Many people spend their days saying they want more money, more happiness, more success. Yet more has no definition. More could mean a single coin on the sidewalk, a fleeting smile, or a momentary glimpse of opportunity. When your intention is hazy, the results you attract are just as blurry. The mind, the body, and the world itself require a clear instruction before they can align to bring it into form. Clarity is the first form of wealth, and in many ways it is the true currency that determines how much you can hold. Imagine walking into a bank and telling the teller, "I want some money." The teller would look at you with confusion because some means nothing. Is it $10? Is it 10,000? Unless you declare the exact amount, there is no way to process the request. Life operates in exactly the same way. Until you decide what you want, you will continue to receive fragments of possibilities, pieces too small to satisfy. Clarity begins with courage. Many hesitate to name the amount of money they desire because they fear disappointment. They whisper half-formed wishes so that if nothing happens, they can say, "I never truly expected it anyway." But power is born in specificity. To say, "I will receive $5,000 this month through right channels," is to lay down a foundation. That declaration not only communicates with the world around you, it programs your own subconscious mind to scan for openings that align with that command. There is research to support this truth. Studies on goal setting show that people who define specific, measurable outcomes are far more likely to achieve them than those who state vague intentions. A person who says, "I will exercise 3 times a week," is more successful than one who says, "I want to get fit." The same applies to money. The moment you attach a number, a time frame, and a pathway, your chances of achieving it multiply. Think of an archer aiming at a target. Without a bullseye to focus on, the arrow could fly in any direction. A clear target does not guarantee a perfect shot, but it provides direction, practice, and progress. When you define your financial bullseye, you give yourself a way to measure success. You also invite the kind of focus that turns scattered effort into deliberate action. Clarity also builds trust in yourself. When you are vague, you wobble. You say you want wealth, but then you second-guess whether you should charge for your services, or you hesitate to accept an opportunity because you do not know if it aligns. A foggy mind cannot make powerful moves. But when you are clear, decisions come easily. If your goal is to earn a specific amount, you weigh every choice against that number. You know when to say yes and when to say no. Clarity cuts through hesitation. Consider the story of a man who always said he wanted to make good money. Month after month, his income shifted unpredictably, sometimes enough, sometimes barely covering expenses. One day he decided to become specific. He declared he would earn $7,000 a month consistently. He wrote it down, placed it on his desk, and let that number guide his actions. Within 3 months, he had secured steady contracts that brought in almost exactly that amount. The opportunities had always been there, but it was his clarity that finally opened his eyes to them. Clarity is not only about numbers, it is about purpose. Why do you want the money? Is it to feel safe, to create freedom, to travel? When your reason is clear, your motivation deepens. Money then becomes more than paper or digits on a screen. It becomes a tool for creating a life aligned with your vision. And the more precise your vision, the more magnetic it becomes. The world responds to those who know what they want. A leader who stands before a team with a vague mission inspires confusion, but a leader who communicates a clear goal ignites action and unity. In the same way, when you direct your life with clarity, you invite cooperation from people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your path. Clarity is currency because it spends as powerfully as money itself. It buys focus, discipline, and opportunities. It pays for doors to open that once seemed locked. It increases your worth in your own eyes, which is where every fortune begins. Without clarity, you are like a traveler wandering without a map. With clarity, every step carries you closer to your chosen destination. ChatGPT said, "There is a hidden engine behind every word you speak, and that engine is belief." Words by themselves are only sounds carried through the air, fleeting vibrations that vanish in seconds. But when words are fueled with belief, they take on substance. They shape thought, direct energy, and carve reality into form. Belief is the current that electrifies language. Without it, declarations fall flat. With it, they become living forces that magnetize wealth, opportunities, and success. Many people speak of money, abundance, or prosperity, yet they do so half-heartedly. They say they want wealth, but inside they carry doubt. They whisper affirmations, but in their core they do not believe those affirmations belong to them. This mismatch between word and belief creates a static signal, a weakened command that cannot hold power. Imagine ordering something from a store but never completing the payment. The request is recorded, but without conviction it is cancelled before fulfillment. That is what happens when words lack belief. Belief, however, is a form of payment. It validates your order. It stamps your declaration with authority. When you say, "I will earn $10,000 this month," and your heart and mind align in absolute certainty, the entire structure of your being begins working to support that reality. Your body acts differently, your mind notices opportunities that once seemed invisible, And your energy attracts people who are drawn to your confidence. Belief transforms a sentence into a seed, and that seed grows into tangible results. Consider the way great leaders move people. It is not only their words that stir action, but the conviction behind those words. The same phrase spoken timidly has little effect, but spoken with belief, it can ignite revolutions. Money responds in the same way. Wealth listens not to wishful phrases but to declarations wrapped in certainty. Think of a business owner seeking investors. One says, "I think my company might succeed if everything goes well." Another says, "This company will dominate its market because we have the team, the plan, and the momentum." Which one secures the investment? The difference is not only in the words, but in the belief pulsing through them. Investors are simply reflections of life itself. They respond to certainty. A young artist once shared that she constantly said she wanted to sell her work, but no one seemed to notice her talent. When asked if she truly believed she could live from her art, she admitted she carried deep doubt. She thought of herself as a hobbyist, not a professional. Her words spoke one thing, but her belief whispered another. When she shifted and began to claim with conviction, "I am an artist whose work is valued and purchased," her actions changed. She approached galleries with confidence, priced her work with dignity, and within months she had sold more pieces than in the past 3 years combined. Belief had transformed her words into wealth. When you declare what you want in life, you place a command upon the invisible forces that shape your reality. Yet words alone, no matter how strong, require evidence through action. Inspired action is the bridge between declaration and manifestation. It is the proof that you believe your command has already been received and is moving into form. Without action, even the most confident statement drifts into the air like smoke. With action, you anchor your words into the physical world, showing life that you are ready to receive. There is a difference between busy action and inspired action. Busy action is fueled by fear, doubt, and desperation. It feels heavy, frantic, and exhausting. Inspired action, on the other hand, arises naturally from belief. It feels purposeful, energized, and clear. It is the step you take when your inner voice says, "Move now. Try this. Call that person. Submit that idea." Inspired action is not forced, it is aligned. And when you move in alignment, the world responds quickly and generously. Imagine a person who declares, "I will attract new clients this month." If they sit back waiting, refusing to send proposals, attend events, or showcase their work, their order hangs unanswered. But if they take inspired action, reaching out to one contact, posting with clarity about their services, following up on a lead, they open the channel for that command to be fulfilled. Their actions signal, "I believe my words," and life rewards that alignment. Think of a farmer who orders a harvest by planting seeds. He does not simply speak to the soil and then walk away. His planting, watering, and tending confirm his command. He acts as though the harvest is already on its way, and because of that, the harvest comes. The same principle applies to money, success, and opportunities. When you act in accordance with your declaration, you prove that you are serious, and seriousness invites results. Consider the story of a man who declared he would double his income in 6 months. For years he had said he wanted more, but nothing shifted. The difference came when he began to pair his words with inspired steps. He reached out to a colleague with a business idea he had been holding back. That conversation led to a partnership that expanded his reach. He signed clients he once would have been too timid to approach. Within 5 months, his income had more than doubled. It was not the words alone, nor the actions alone. It was the marriage of command and inspired follow-through. Inspired action also requires trust. You may not see the entire path ahead, but you must be willing to take the step that presents itself. Often, people wait until they can guarantee success before they move. But inspired action rarely comes with guarantees. It comes as a nudge, a spark, a small door opening. If you wait for certainty, you remain still. If you trust the impulse and move, you invite momentum. One step leads to another, and soon the path that once looked hidden reveals itself fully. There is power in even the smallest action taken with faith. A woman once declared she would earn an extra $2,000 within a month. Soon after, she felt nudged to call an old acquaintance. She almost ignored the impulse, telling herself it was too small to matter, but she trusted the inspiration and called. That one conversation led to a freelance project that paid exactly the amount she had declared. The call itself was simple, but it confirmed her command, and the universe answered. Your inspired action does not need to be grand or complicated. It needs only to match the energy of your declaration. If you declare abundance, act as if you are abundant. If you declare new opportunities, walk into spaces where opportunities exist. If you declare success, carry yourself with the confidence of someone who succeeds. Life mirrors your movement. Words plant the seed, but action waters it. Belief gives it sunlight, but action anchors it in the soil. To speak without acting is to command without commitment. To act without inspiration is to toil without alignment. But to speak, believe, and act in harmony is to become unstoppable. Every inspired step whispers to life, "I know my order is coming," and life responds, "Here it is." The path to wealth, success, and fulfillment is not paved only by thoughts or words. It is confirmed by what you do. Each inspired action is a declaration in motion, a living testament that you trust your own command. When you move in this way, you do not chase after what you want. It moves toward you with undeniable speed. There is a rhythm to life, a steady current that rewards persistence far more than sudden bursts of effort. Consistency is the key that unlocks this rhythm. It is not the grand gesture done once in a moment of inspiration, but the steady repetition of belief, action, and alignment that opens the gates of abundance. Many people speak powerful words, take bold steps, and then retreat when results do not appear instantly. They treat life like a slot machine, expecting immediate payout. And when it does not come, they abandon the process. What they fail to see is that flow is built through trust maintained over time. Consistency is not glamorous. It is often quiet, ordinary, and unseen. It is writing your financial goals every morning, even when yesterday did not bring the breakthrough. It is declaring your command with conviction, even when evidence has not yet appeared. It is showing up to work with excellence day after day, even when recognition feels delayed. Consistency proves that your belief is not fragile. It shows that you trust the process so deeply that you do not require instant proof to keep moving forward. Think of water carving its way through rock. One drop alone does little. 100 drops leave only a trace. But over time, consistent flow shapes valleys and canyons. The rock yields not because of force but because of persistence. Your life is the same. One inspired action may open a door, but consistency in thought, word, and deed keeps those doors wide and draws even greater ones into view. Consider the person who declares, "I will attract wealth," and for 3 days speaks affirmations with passion. On the 4th day, they feel discouraged and stop. That inconsistency disrupts the flow. Contrast this with another person who, regardless of mood, writes down their goal every morning, visualizes it as already theirs, and takes daily steps aligned with that vision. Over weeks and months, the second person builds momentum, attracts opportunities, and eventually achieves what the first abandoned. The difference is not talent or luck, it is consistency. A young musician once shared her story of trying to earn a living from her art. At first, she performed sporadically, promoted her work only when she felt motivated, and grew frustrated when income was unstable. Then she committed to consistency. She played every week, posted new content every few days, and treated her craft as a steady profession rather than a passing dream. Within a year, her audience had grown. Her music brought in reliable income, and she was living the life she once thought impossible. The flow did not open because of one viral moment. It opened because she kept showing up. Consistency also builds trust with others. When you show up reliably, people know they can depend on you. Clients return, partners collaborate, opportunities expand. Trust is currency, and consistency is the way you earn it. If you declare abundance but act unpredictably, the world hesitates to respond. But when your actions are steady, your results follow suit. There is also a psychological shift that occurs through consistency. Each time you repeat a declaration, each time you take an aligned step, you strengthen neural pathways in your brain. Over time, your new belief becomes your natural state. What once felt forced becomes effortless. Just as muscles strengthen through repeated exercise, your mind strengthens through repeated alignment. Eventually, you no longer try to believe, you simply do. The temptation will always be to give up too soon. Results often arrive just beyond the point where most people stop. Flow does not appear instantly, because life is testing the depth of your conviction. Do you truly believe in your command, or do you abandon it at the first sign of delay? Consistency answers that question. It declares, "I trust the harvest is on its way, and I will continue planting, watering, and tending until it arrives." Imagine a gardener who plants seeds but digs them up every few days to see if they are growing. That impatience kills the process. A wise gardener plants, waters, and waits, knowing that growth is happening beneath the surface, even when nothing is visible. Your financial and personal goals are no different. Consistency is the watering that ensures the seed becomes a tree. The flow of abundance is not unlocked by force, but by faith expressed daily. It is the quiet discipline of speaking your command, acting upon it, and maintaining alignment regardless of appearances. When you live this way, flow becomes natural. Opportunities arrive with greater ease, money circulates more freely, and success feels less like a struggle and more like a current carrying you forward. Consistency is not about perfection, it is about showing up again and again. Even if you stumble, even if you miss a day, you return. That return strengthens you more than the stumble weakens you. Over time, this rhythm becomes unstoppable, and once you establish it, the flow remains open, pouring into your life in ways greater than you once imagined. The day I stopped asking for money and started ordering it, I claimed my role as the author of my financial destiny. Money is not something distant, mysterious, or reserved for the few. It is energy that responds to clarity, conviction, and consistent command. You do not need to beg. You do not need to hope. You only need to decide what you want, order it with belief, and act as if it is already on its way. So ask yourself today, will you keep whispering for scraps, or will you rise, place your order, and receive the feast that has always been waiting for you?